Do a roll call.
Here.
Present.
Here.
Yeah.
Here. Okay, call the meeting down. Roll call. Okay, minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second. Favor, aye. Okay, now we got the procurements.
First procurement's phase 4 and 5 Westland sewer separation. Do we pass out the new memo? Okay, we have a little bit of a wrinkle. We got the bids, and the bid tab in your package is the one we evaluated as of Saturday morning. So Grenice and Sons was the low bidder at $39,765,600, followed by PGOso and Son at 43 million change, and Albanese at 43 million change as well. So it's about 3.5 million. Grenice was the lowest bidder. We evaluated the package and the bid tabs and everything and the recommendations in your package that was sent out Friday. Unfortunately, Saturday morning, Grenice sent us an email saying that they intend to withdraw its bid for the above reference contract, provided the commission returns the bid deposit, which is 5%, which is almost $2 million, as the bid is based upon a bona fide clerical error of substantial nature. And under 30B, that's one of the stipulations that if you protest the bid or you withdraw your bid, you're entitled to get your deposit back, and you can in fact withdraw your bid. So obviously they know what they're doing. They withdrew the bid based on that. So now the new package is on the table, and the recommendation now, because we have a consent decree and this project has to be done by October of '24. So we're gonna spend $43 million in 16 months or so in sewer separation work. So there's no time to do anything else but award it to PGOso and Sons in the amount of $43,183,991.10.
Does somebody want to make a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Or anybody got any questions first on it?
Maybe we have to go with the lowest bidder.
Yes. And as part of some of the discussions I had with a few commissioners, just so you're aware, and we're going to put it on our website as well. This involves sewer separation, so we're putting in new storm drains. So we're taking out the runoff from rainfall events out of the sanitary sewer and out of the receiving waters during certain storms and putting it into a separate storm drain. So we're putting in 3.5 miles of new storm drains throughout Westland. We're doing about 250 new catch basins and new manholes, so significant infrastructure. Of course, we are spending $43 million, but we're getting 1.5 miles of new sanitary sewers, along with about 60 new manholes. And on the water side, we're getting 1.5 miles of new water, about 100 valves and boxes, almost 20 hydrants, and about 3/4 mile of new service. So every street will get a new water main and a new service. One of the components of that is not all the project's items are eligible. So if you have what they call an ineligible item, so hypothetically this would be the street, if the drainage is on the left side of the street and the water main's on the left side as well, we can usually get that incorporated into the SRF state revolving fund for the loan. If the water main was hypothetically on the right side of the street, then that's not deemed eligible. That has to come out of our general fund, out of cash, out of the commission. On the GEOSO bid, we have about $2.4 million in water mains with services and valves and all the other good stuff I mentioned that we're going to have to come up with cash yet to pay.
So up and above the 43 million, we got to come up with that to do the
No,
whole
that's
project?
inclusive in the 43.
Yeah, because
We
you're
just-
digging up the street, so you might as well do it all, right?
Correct. I mean, we're
Or you're
gonna pave the
pave
road
them.
away, you're not gonna have a problem there for the next 100 years.
Right, you
hopefully.
have to dig 'em up
We
and-
could leave the old water main in. Bob Fennell contacted the mayor's office today to see if there was any additional ARPA money floating around, because we applied for 3 ARPA packages. We got 2, one for Broadway and Linfield Street, one for various locations, and we didn't get the middle one, which was this here, trying to get the ineligible items covered under ARPA. But Bob reached out today. Bob, do you have any luck getting answers?
No, I reached out to John Tebow and haven't yet responded yet.
Because if we choose to do the $2.4 million worth of work, it's probably the right thing to do, but it's not coming under the SRF.
Yeah, if there's any way we can do it, I think we should, I mean, definitely, because, you know, it's terrible to go dig up people's street again. That's just, doesn't make any sense, even though it's a significant amount of money. So now, what streets does this encompass, like what, like main streets and stuff roughly? Just a few names, just. I was
Oh,
just
it's all
curious.
in West Lynn,
It's all-
it's.
Like, is it all one neighborhood, or is it like everywhere?
The big pipe is going down Bennett, it's a 52-inch pipe, and then it's tributary.
So
to
it's just gonna
Bennett.
go off all those streets,
You know,
Orchard and
I
all
can
that?
give you a map, you can.
Oh,
look
no,
at
I was
it.
just curious if it
There's-
was, so it's all that area
4
that's having
miles
all
of
the
pipe.
problems?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Did we account for the other 2.5 million in the budget, or where would that money come from?
Well, it's gonna come from, I think the plan is, we do have some available for money that we banded 2 years ago, but we also, end of year cash, we're hoping we can maybe move $1 million from the end of this year into the capital, and then another $1 million from
So how much time do we have to actually pay that full amount? A couple of years, or
When the
like when's it?
contractor puts the pipe in the ground.
No, that's what I'm saying, so when, by the time the project's done, which
Yeah.
is gonna be what, 2024 or something?
24, yeah, we're hoping that maybe he puts half the water mains in, you know, this, no, it's not gonna be this calendar, but this fiscal, but we're hoping, Ryan, right, and maybe half this year from capital, from end of year cash, next year from end of year cash.
So we're gonna try to
But
steal like $1 million from each year and try to hopefully we can do it.
That was the plan. Maybe we sequence some of the construction so the water main goes in, but, you know, that, we'll have to discuss it with the contractor, you know, as of 2 o'clock this afternoon, now we have a new contractor.
Right,
so
I know.
we don't.
Well, he's already in town and it just seems like a good fit anyway.
Yeah, oh,
To bring
definitely, but
somebody
he's $4
else in.
million more expensive.
No, I know, that's the bad news. but-
And he's about $500,000 more on the ineligible items. So we were about 1.9, we needed about 1.9 for the Venice, now we need 2.4 for Gioso. So I think we need a motion to authorize the execution of a contract with PGO and Sons for phase 4 and 5 for $43,183,991.10.
Motion to accept. Second by Council Calucci. You wanna, roll call on this?
Absolutely.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Salona,
Yes.
Commissioner Calucci.
Yes.
Commissioner Grace,
Yes.
Commissioner Lindsey,
Yes.
Yes. Okay, get that done now. Okay, now so we're gonna talk about the other one now. You got your front thing there? Let me see that. Yeah, the other one.
Water treatment plant
Yeah,
chemical
but, yeah,
consortium.
yeah.
Okay, we're a member of the Northeast Merrimack Valley Chemical Consortium with, I believe, 61 other communities. So they put out bids for chemicals in bulk, and the chemicals are listed there. Unfortunately, they've all increased in price except for caustic soda. That went down slightly from 15 cents and a little bit of change to 13 cents. So that's the only one that has decreased in price. The other 5 have all gone up, but it is what it is. I mean, the total bid only went up 53 and 14, 67,000 from last year. And obviously, if we use less chemicals, we don't pay that. Based on the quantity that we estimated for last year and this year, it's about a $63,000 increase, but it is what it is. So we need a motion to authorize, we execute the contract with the North Shore Merrimack Valley Chemical Consortium for the bids as outlined.
I'll make a motion.
Motion. Second. In favor.
Aye.
Roll call. You wanna do roll call?
Commissioner Salona,
Yes.
Commissioner Calucci,
Yes.
Commissioner Grace,
Yes.
Commissioner Lindsey,
Yes.
and Commissioner Trahan.
Yes. Okay, at the water. What are you doing next?
Wastewater treatment plant update. I put the invoice for April in your package. The ICI's, the invoice was 1.8 million, so this is the $70 million capital improvement at the wastewater treatment plant. And it's gonna be done in about another 3.5 years. The monthly invoices in there with estimates and quantities. And it's pretty much the same. They're working on the modifications to the HVAC building and the pump stations at Camden and Washington. We're working out logistics. There's some Saugus force main issues, and they're working on, we have change orders and allowances, but everything more or less is on schedule and going well, but, you know, it is costly. The monthly bill is 1.9 million, which is kind of unheard of, but the plant's not gonna have, hopefully, be in compliance for the next 20 years, and we're gonna get it there. So that's it, nothing really earth-shattering there.
Okay, water treatment.
Water treatment, Rick Dock couldn't make it this evening, so I'll give you his update. So, with capacity, the water capacity is at 85, usually we're at 86, the typical average is 86, so that's good stuff. The reservoirs are full, you can see 8 of the 10 of the contract employees for Viola are working. They're looking for an operator and a mechanic. Viola stated that they're gonna have an operator on sometime this summer, in June or July, and other than that, things are going well.
Didn't I see a letter from the state commending Rick Dawes on his?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that next, we can take it right now if you want.
No, whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, now then the awards,
What are you
item
talking
B,
about?
drinking water awards. So we got an award relative to taking action to reduce lead awards. So we sent out notices to the schools and to all the child care facilities to just let them know there's a program out there, and they've demonstrated that we've, done a great job, and the letter's in your package. So we got some type of, an award for systems taking action to reduce lead award. So we are working on that, and I think we've had pretty good success taking the samples and monitoring the samples, but it is difficult. I think there's 190 schools and child care facilities. I don't know the percentage of success we had, but someone at the state thinks we did a good job, so good stuff. I don't think we got
Good
into
stuff for Lynn.
the child care facilities as well as we hoped, because, for whatever reasons.
That's good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Give him some credit, Dan.
Yeah, make sure you
Oh, yeah, we did good.
Yeah, I got one,
Yeah, no,
got one of the better programs.
No, pass it on to
got
Rick,
One
yeah.
of the better programs across the state, so.
Really? Yes, thank you. I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, CSO
Well-deserved.
update.
We got another award just for the drinking water award. The second one, I think you jumped the gun a little bit. It's basically saying we've been one of the top systems. This is a compliance reporting, water quality, testing results, condition of the facilities. All those are criteria in evaluating the drinking water awards program. But I guess because we've received the award, as they say, in 2021 and 22, we're ineligible, so they have to let other people get awards, I guess. Sounds like. So they're gonna let someone else get an award this year, and then we'll get an award next year. This is just a nice letter saying you guys are
Yeah,
doing something.
good stuff.
But,
Yeah.
but we can't get 4 awards in a row. It's
That's too bad.
gonna hurt someone's feelings.
It's just up to everybody else to step
Yeah, it's
up.
good.
All right. CSO, Anthony's not here either. Commission's sort of falling apart.
Thank God we got you, Dan.
So, hold on, let's back it up. The CSO program, so that, Anthony gives you a detailed report. Phase 1 is done, that was the sewer separation work where we put in separate water and sewer lines, just like we got approved for 4 and 5. 2 was the force main from the outfall to the DPW yard, and that was about another $11 million, and that's essentially done 98%, I think. And the pump station is ongoing, it's at 48% right now. The information in your package, they're completing rebar installation and concrete placement of the wet wells in north, south, east, and west walls. They're installing piles, I believe the piles are being installed today for the screening chamber. They're installing structures on the east side of the commercial street for the bypass. They began some concrete installation for the electrical building, and there's waterproofing and slabs in the electrical building. But all in all, again, we're at 20, I think we're at 48%, so things are going well. And then 4 and 5 were awarded for sewer separation just now. And I think those 5 phases of West Lynn are gonna come to about 100 million. And the project overall was estimated at 200 million. So 10 in West Lynn, and the next project will be 10 in East Lynn.
So how's the schedule going? They right on schedule? Everything looking good?
Well, yeah,
I mean,
we
they've had
have
some good
basically a
weather.
Westland schedule and an Eastland schedule. Westland has to be done by November of '24. So that's why we have to get $43 million worth of work done now in
Quick, just to keep it the schedule.
16 months or whatever.
No, but I'm
it
saying
is.
they're not falling behind. They've been doing well, I'm sure, all right? They're staying on schedule.
No, we did.
Are they
yeah.
behind, or you think?
No, they're good.
doing good.
They're not really, the 2024 deadline is the issue. So the last contract that we just awarded is sort of gonna be the one that's a little concerning. 'Cause
So do you think we're gonna hit the deadline, or are you
We're
nervous
doing
about it?
4 miles of pipe in
Right.
16 months, like, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a 72-inch pipe down Bennett Street, like 20 feet deep.
Right.
So it's not
That's
a
not-
12-inch pipe on a little side.
Oh, yeah, it's
street.
not an easy dig.
So,
What happens if we don't make the deadline?
a lot of deadline questions. We got that Dave Van Hoven here from Stanford. Dave, why don't you had designed this baby, why don't you answer a few of these?
Sure, no problem.
Give me a break.
I was gonna take the update for you, and then you could have these questions. Technically, if we don't meet the deadline, we could be fined daily for not meeting that. We have been keeping DEP apprised of our schedule and our progress for the last 4 years. They've been happy with our progress. They know that we're spending $100 million and working as hard as we can to make this work. So I think over the next year, we're gonna be having discussions with them, potentially if we need to modify those consent decree dates or put it in writing a little more formally. But we're also gonna be discussing with them, as Dan said, sort of what's next after West Lynn, to what that phase and that schedule looks like as well. So I think there's a lot to talk with them about. They have been very happy with our progress to date and have expressed as much to us.
When the CSO is separated, where's the stormwater, what water body is the stormwater gonna go to?
So it's all going through that new force main that we just installed, that discharges to the harbor.
To the harbor, got it.
And the outfall location, if you haven't seen that on the plans, is right behind the landfill.
Okay, got it.
Almost in line, if you're standing on Commercial Street, if you look right where the windmill is.
Sure.
Straight out that way, that's
Okay.
basically where the outfall is.
Got it.
So now, how far out is the outfall? Like, how far does it go out?
Outfall is right at the
Just
shore.
to
So it's right there?
Yeah.
It just ends?
Is there a way to file for an extension of that?
That's what we'll be talking to them about in terms of formally changing the
That's
dates
what
if
we're talking
necessary.
about, okay.
Yeah.
So do they generally allow you the extensions?
If we're making good progress and in good faith advancing things, and I think we've shown that, so. But, you know, we can technically still make it, but it'd be nice to have a little breathing room.
Right. Okay. Anybody else?
Mike works for the DEP, so yeah, they're very cooperative, very helpful. That's the answer we're gonna give. All right? We can talk.
Yeah, we
half
got
hour.
somebody on the inside, so
We
that's
can
good.
talk a half hour.
Go back to the awards.
This is on camera.
Okay, Kings Beach update?
So the April report is the update that we supplied to the DEP and EPA monthly is in your package. Emma Kelly's here to speak further on anything that you guys want to hear or talk about or ask questions.
So for the end of the month, we got out amongst all the rain to get a couple days. We went to 14 sites, checking things that we had already looked into last year, looking for confirmatory in the places where we disconnected a few illicits, and also looking at some places that were kind of secondary after we've done cleaning. Commission and National Water Main have done cleaning and maintenance in some of the systems. Of those 14, 13 were able to be screened, including we took samples of the outfall for bacteria. DNA was a new one this spring to try and see how well that correlates, and ammonia. And then we took the pharmaceutical and personal care products. So right now we have all the data in except for the pharmaceuticals, but it takes longer. Should have that in about a week and a half is when we're expecting it. So far, no real elevated levels of anything of the bacteria at the sites. We did have one outlier for the human DNA and total DNA over on Mount Pleasant, but it doesn't correspond to any other elevated numbers. So we're gonna get back to the lab to find out what exactly are they tracing, because the levels are much higher than at the outfall at that one location. But we did have to sandbag because there was no actual significant flow. So next steps really are gonna be to evaluate all that data, to see if we need to go return to any of these locations, but also start planning to screen the old Stacy Brook trunk line before we put the cameras in and go kind of end to end on that. Supplemental work's gonna be looking at floating bridge pond and its network, since it ultimately drains to the beach as well. And then that kind of like takes us through June, is like the next 2 steps.
So the human DNA is not a presence absence, they give
It's they call it bacteria, I'm gonna screw it up. Bacterioids,
Okay.
which basically, I think you gotta think of it as kind of like colony forming units, similar to like bacteria samples.
Okay.
But, they give you total, which is supposedly it's screening for things that bacteria only exist in the gut of animals, and then they can partition that into animal versus human. So total is everything, human is just humans, and now those levels at the Mount Pleasant location were significantly higher than anywhere else we sampled. We had non-detect levels at some locations. So that's promising. We just don't know if there's a true correlation or what the correlation might be with bacteria too, because the Mount Pleasant bacteria levels were well 100. So more to come on that, but it's significantly quicker. We get the DNA results in 2 days as opposed to wait 3 weeks for pharmaceuticals. So that was kind of the test case to see how well it tracks out.
Where's Mount Pleasant in relation to anything? I don't know.
Basically about the westernmost edge of the Kings Beach watershed, about I'd say about halfway down.
Okay.
So it's kind of the app limits on the western side that drains to the east. But it's just a small side street. We cambered it and cleaned it actually, but we went back to just see because the levels prior to cleaning were high. But that was the only flag that we hit, was just this DNA marker. So
Could you see like a dilution effect from like coming out of the pipe itself?
You
or-
can, in the sense that we were trying to track it and upper in the watershed. That one was extremely high, but compared to the outfall, its levels were significantly higher, about 30 times higher.
Wow.
So you pull everything together and you pop out into the beach. So I think that's why we're gonna look at screening the trunk line to see if we can full dilution at the outfall, and if as you step up into the system, if we can maybe isolate where it might be coming from. But 2 of the 3 where we had illicits, we didn't have return of any indicators, so that hopefully would be positive, meaning that we found the 3 that were causing issues in those sub-areas.
What might be interesting next time if you pull one from the outfall is take one from the Swampscott side. I would just be curious to see what, I'm just in terms of just information, in terms of what's coming out
We
eventually
got
on the beach,
Yeah, I agree.
right?
The bacteria levels we got, so this was on April 26th and 27th. 26th, closer to the most recent rainfall event, was about 5,500 CFU per 100, and the next day was 2,100. So we always take one just to get an idea of what it is in relation to what else is.
But I just think for the human marker, personally coming out of the other pipe, I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, we can do that, right?
Sure. It's right next to it, man, we're talking the same one.
Right.
Should be a good
Yeah, just to get just a sense,
Right.
it's just new information, that's good,
comparison.
yeah.
So now when do we start, I think I asked this before, but now when do we start testing the water every day? Like, do you test the ocean, the beach? Like now the weather's coming, do you,
Memorial Day.
oh, so that's your target? That's when we start doing it?
That's DCR, right?
That's easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the goal is to start focusing on the trunk line, because we've been working kind of out to in. Now we can go out and screen along the trunk line to see if there's any hot spots within certain segments, but the plan is to camera the whole length as well, just to see if we see things, because several of the places we found illicits didn't actually have super elevated bacteria counts or anything, but we were like, oh, there's something there, and we cameraed, and that's when we found them. And other ones, we had very high bacteria and found nothing when we cameraed. So it's not, neither path is foolproof. The DNA was just another tool, just trying to see if it maybe could give us a place to isolate. So Mount Pleasant will be going back to check it for other things, because it did have elevated ammonia, but that was it. So we also did find elevated ammonia up by the park behind Lynn English, which that also could potentially be due to how they maintain all those fields, if they're putting down a urea-based fertilizer or anything.
Oh, so what causes it, like fertilizer would cause that
Yeah,
high
depending on
level?
what they're using, that could be a source of just some of the ammonia hit. because there wasn't bacteria or anything else, but extremely high ammonia levels, so that could be related to how their landscaping practices.
I think Mount Pleasant, I think we got a new sanitary sewer on Mount Pleasant in the early 2000s. So the old sewer would have been converted to a drain. So if a service connection had mistakenly been left in the old sewer, then that was converted to a drain, then that,
Be similar to Mariana.
correct.
Yeah, the camera work didn't find anything or real maintenance conditions over there, but we are gonna go back and screen the other structures just to see if this is just an outlier.
Right.
But that was it, just the human DNA was 30 times the amount, as we saw at the outfall on the same day, so.
But the new sanitary sewers will be more likely to have a connection rather than the new storm drains, right? Because the new storm drain, all you do is tie a catch basin into
Yeah,
the
you
storm
should.
drain. The sanitary
It's the
sewer,
conversion of
you have
sewer
to
to
take them,
drain.
exactly, that's. All right.
Anybody else, any questions for him?
Mount Pleasant goes to Essex Street, I'm right? Rockland to Essex,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
I like to be a cab driver, I know this stuff.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, it's right next to the Abbott House, isn't it up like by the Abbott House, isn't
Yeah.
that?
On a bike, you cab, on the cab or on a car?
Like,
You like bikes?
What?
Do you on the bike?
No,
On the
afterwards.
bike story?
Yeah.
Your dog?
Yeah.
Okay, now we got the operating, budget, 2,000.
Yeah, Ryan's here, the budget, we just have the, go ahead, Ryan.
I can take that one, thank you. So in your package, there were the proposed fiscal year 2024 operating budget, proposed capital improvement plan, and proposed rates and fee schedule. So these same copies that you have were, per our enabling legislation, was sent to the mayor's office and to the city councilors as well. Ultimate adoption of the, you'd vote on it next month at next month's meeting. So this is the opportunity for you guys to review, and if you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to me.
Yeah, you just got it today, so if there's any questions, you wanna come in, set up a meeting, you wanna have a 10-minute conference call on the phone, whatever you want, we can promise you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's scary.
Okay. That's all that. New business, anything? Anybody got any new business?
The CSO notification, the sewer notifications
Yeah, that's good.
assistance
That's
grant,
good stuff.
Bob Button from CDM, there's one more right up there, right? Bob Button from CDM was in here a few months ago. We applied for an $80,000 sewage notification assistance grant, and we received it, the application's in your package, the notification letter, which went to the mayor's also in your package. So, Ray and Hughes is working with CDM to, work out the kinks and make sure we're in compliance once the Memorial Day beach season arrives. Because now regulation requires we notify within 2 hours, and before we had more time, so this grant's gonna be helpful in getting us up to speed on some of the new requirements of the regulations.
I see the requested funds, the 80,000, that's matching funds. What
Ray, do you have that?
referring to?
Sometimes like with state grants or other funding, there'll be like a 70-30, so they'll provide 70% of the total funds and then the city will have to match the other 30%. But in this case, it was just a straight grant, so.
Oh, yeah, that's just an item, that's not checked, so that didn't,
Yeah.
that didn't
I
apply.
was just curious
Oh,
about it.
okay, yeah,
That's great news.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, congratulations.
80,000.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Very good.
We'll get that on the website too. We're gonna get that on the website too, right? Okay. Let people know what we do.
No kidding, we should, yeah.
Maybe if 5% people listen.
Yeah, like Rick, all the awards up there, they should be on our
I've got that number
Absolutely.
recently, 10%.
Once everybody hears how cool it is, and they're like, "Wow."
Now, when people come in and they scream about their sewer and water bill, you can just show them all the awards that we get.
That's right.
Right.
To get them free,
Don't
it's
take
fun.
the edge off.
Right. This is why it costs so much.
Wait a minute, it said
Water's good.
80,000, not 800,000.
Okay, new business, anybody got anything on that?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?